I'm Rob Wilson, and I approve this message. And I also approve of this intro, so roll it.
Which presidents are on our paper money? I failed miserably at this.
No, I'm not good at this either, but we're going to ask the questions anyway. Who is on a $500 bill?
Never had one, don't know.
Yes, it is President William McKinley. I only know because it's written right there. Who's on a $1,000 bill?
Also never had one, yes. Don't know.
It's President Grover Cleveland. All right, this one's a little bit easier. Who's on a $1 bill?
Okay, that one I know. It's George Washington.
It's George Washington.
And how about for the vending machine?
Right, exactly. At a $5 bill?
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln.
Well, Thomas Jefferson is on the $2 bill, Andrew Jackson on the 20. All of this leading up to today's Money Monday segment for President's Day, how to get more presidents in your pocket. We're talking about increasing our wealth or presidents with financial advisor Rob Wilson of Wilson Insight. So clever.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I try to keep it fresh and new around here, you know?
You do. We're talking about some old guys today, too.
That's right, and I tried my best, President.
You look good.
My name is Rob Wilson, and I approve this message.
Okay. So let's start with Thomas Jefferson on the $2 bill. And we're doing this with quotes from each president. Never spend your money before you have it.
Yeah, this is a really cool quote, which to me says, listen, don't go out and start spending a bunch of money that you don't have. And so we know we kind of have this sort of debt issue in the country. And the big problem with that is that you have a lot of people going out and spending so much money trying to impress people who really don't really care at the end of the day, you know, trying to keep up with the Joneses. So I think this is a fantastic quote that says, don't worry about what your neighbor has. Take care of your own financial situation and don't run up a lot of debt just trying to impress someone.
We looked this up the other day. So the average credit card debt is like $6,000.
Oh, yeah. And then when you start to add in your mortgage debt, you start to add in your car payment. And let's not forget about those student loans now, which have now far outpaced other forms of consumer debt. I mean, people are really trying to figure out how to get this huge monkey off of their back. So without, you know, spending money on frivolous things, maybe it'll be a little bit easier to do that.
Okay.
All right, our next president on the $1 bill, George Washington, and the quote is, to contract new debts is not the way to pay old ones.
Oh, yeah. So I like this quote, too, because it's really saying, look, don't just rob Peter to pay Paul, okay? Shuffling, you know, the chairs around on the Titanic. You know, I tend to be the more money guy when it comes to financial folks. And so I believe that if you focus on sort of increasing your income, listen, you can cut things out of your budget. I get it. But I would rather you not cut all of the enjoyment out of your life. If you'd like to go have a coffee every morning, go ahead and do that. I think that maybe focusing on increasing your income is perhaps the best way to really transform your financial situation.
So with that, I know that some people will close credit cards to reopen a new one with 0% finance fees. So is that a good idea, or don't keep doing that?
It's a good idea to move the debt perhaps to a zero finance, but don't close the old credit card because that will reflect negatively on your credit report.
So keep it open,
so you lose all of that great history that you had in paying the bill off, and you reduce the amount of credit that you have available to you. So if you want to go do that, that's fine. Take advantage of that 0% interest, but don't close the other one. Maybe just cut it up or put it in the freezer so you don't use it.
Okay, good. And then when do you close that if you have it for so long? Sorry, now I'm off on another.
No, I wouldn't close it. You want to just keep it open and just have some discipline not to go use it.
Not to use it, but have the account active.
That's interesting.
Regardless.
Okay.
All right. John F. Kennedy is our next president with a quote, and our growing softness, our increasing lack of fitness is a menace to our security.
Yeah, so he's not on one of the dollar bills, but I thought that this was a really good quote because it's extremely difficult to get wealthy if you're not healthy, okay? If you can't get up and go to work every day, if you can't work in your business, it's going to be a problem. And so what we understand is that there is a problem with health in this country, okay?
Absolutely.
About 35% of Americans are technically obese, which is about 78 million people. When you're obese, it causes chronic conditions like diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and about 80 to 90% of healthcare costs come from those chronic diseases, which is about $1.5 trillion a year. And these exorbitant healthcare costs are one of the largest reasons for bankruptcy in the United States. And so I think that people really need to focus on their health because they're not really aware of how much that affects their financial vitality.
Yeah, I think
That
that's
was
a
on
really
our
good point.
list too.
Yeah.
Okay, next President Dwight Eisenhower. I can't talk today. The older I get, the more wisdom I find in the ancient rule of taking first things first.
Okay, so
tell me about this
I got
one.
a good story about this. So when I first started getting into golf, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't that good, and I figured out that I needed to go take some lessons, right? So I went to go see the guy, and I've got all my clubs and everything, and I just want to just go hit drives. And we sat there for an hour. I didn't hit one ball, and all he wanted to do was look at my grip. Okay. Same thing with people and their money. They come to me and say, "Hey, Rob, what should I invest in?" And I go, wait a second. I don't know what you should invest in. You really need a plan. You got to focus on the fundamentals first. And the way that you do that is being very, very brutally honest with yourself about where you stand today. Your situation is what it is. That's fine. Then you have to get extremely specific with where you want to be in the future. And I mean dollar value and time. So let's say you want to have $1 million liquid by the time you're 50. Okay, that's specific. That's something you can work on. Now you can reverse engineer. If you have those two pieces of information, you can reverse engineer from where you want to be to where where you're at now. You can always figure out what to do in between, but you have to know those fundamentals before you can start thinking about what you should invest in and all these other things.
What's the end goal? What was your end goal in golf?
My end goal was golf was to be good. I'm not quite there yet, so I'll let you know when that happens.
Thank you so much, Rob Wilson of Wilson Insight, here with some great insight for us this President's Day. Thank you as always.
Thanks, Rob.